we do appreciate tremendously your commitment and your faith in the Jewish people and your friendship and your love for this country and for these people. We really want you to feel home. It's your home. It's your family. Thank you so much for being here. Mike Evans.
The reason why I wrote that book is precisely over Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. I am a Zionist. And when I met with that man for 30 minutes in New York at his hotel, the Warwick Hotel, I had met with 21 of his ministers over a 4-day period of time. Now here's the shock. None of them asked me who I was. None of them Googled me, I assume, because I have written 3 books against Mahmoud Ahmadinejad with his picture on several of them. And yet, they set up the interview, the foreign minister set it up with him for 30 minutes. My first question to him, and I worked with the Fox News Network, helping write the questions for them so they could expose his insanity, and they did an excellent job. But I asked him, I said, why do you say the things you say about Israel? He said, haven't you read the protocols? Yes. Haven't you read the protocols? That was the end of the question. It seems irrelevant in a modern day to write a book about exposing the protocols. I mean, from a publishing concept, are you crazy? How can you market something so archaic and old? What's the reason for such a thing? You have to go back to the reason for the conflict. What is this whole conflict about? What's the root of the reason? What is the source of the root? Probably the best person expressing it is, in fact, the Prime Minister, who said it's never about a Palestinian state, the division of Jerusalem, checkpoints, fences, land. It's about Israel's right to exist. But you know something? I am a Christian, and the majority of Christians don't have any comprehension what you mean when you say that. Israel's right to exist. They don't know what you're talking about. They say, well, Israel exists. Why are they so worried about their right to exist? They don't understand the definition of that statement. And the reason they don't understand it, because it's really not about Israel's right to exist. It's about your right to exist. Your right to exist as a Jew in this land is the question. Do you have that right? Not does a nation have the right to exist. What is all this about? The protocols, to me, revealed the reason for the season. If Herzl's vision of a Jewish state and their belief, the illusion of a Jewish state, is a Jewish conspiracy, and you have nutcases like Mahmoud Ahmadinejad with billions in the bank and a screwdriver away from a nuclear bomb, wanting to wipe the nation off the map and legitimized by the United Nations. Causes Palestinian children as babies to go to kindergarten camps to learn how to be suicide bombers and blow people up. Are they doing it over land? No. People aren't dying simply because they won't die over a piece of land. They die for something bigger. The belief that there is a Jewish world conspiracy is real. Do you think Jewish people are rich? Yes. They think you're all rich. There's no such thing as a poor Jew. That doesn't make any sense to them about it. Well, where does this come from? It goes all the way back to people like Henry Ford, who published 500,000 copies of the protocols and distributed them at his car dealerships at the beginning of the last century. Individuals that would warm up to people like Hitler. What would make the German people embrace a heretic and lunatic like him? They had to be educated, inspired by a devious myth, a lie that never dies. And it was translated into so much more. Today, in the Hamas Charter, it is Palestine, and tomorrow it'll be another country. For Zionist scheming has no end. And after Palestine, they will covet expansion from the Nile to the Euphrates. Only when they have complete digesting the area in which they have laid their hands, they will look forward to more expansion. Their scheme has been laid out in the protocols of the elders of Zion, and their present conduct is the best proof of what is there. Why can't we get back to the root of the real problem? This isn't about, they have to acknowledge that we have the right to exist. How shameful. Why? Why do they have the right to tell you that you have the right to exist? How dare them say that? You can't even use the N-word in America anymore. You get fired, you get ostracized, you can get humiliated, but the J word is okay. You can say just about anything about Jews and disguise it as politics or Israel, and it's fine. It's acceptable. You package it differently today, and it's acceptable. We saw that from Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter accused his prime minister of being a terrorist in his book. At Radical, he said, he's a terrorist. I took him on. I wrote a bigger book, 4 times the size of his, called Jimmy Carter, the Liberal Left and World Chaos. A plan that will not work. He called his a plan that will work. And he was furious. I took him on. And actually mine did better than his. So Carter says in his book that Menachem Begin agreed that Jerusalem could be divided. It was a lie. The secretary knows, she's sitting next to me. Menachem Begin showed me the letter to my face that he sent to Carter. There wasn't any truth to his statement. He said he agreed to stop the settlements. A lie again. 90 days he agreed to, only while they were negotiating. But you see, the seeds are there. Why the hatred against Jews? When people can rip the soldiers apart, their bodies apart because they make a wrong turn on the road, or take a little boy who's camping and kill him and smear his blood all over the cave and rejoice, or make a big pizza exhibition and pass out pizza as you go in because they blew you up in Jerusalem, and you wipe your feet on the Israeli flag. Why all of this? Martin Luther King said this. He said that you say that you're not anti-Semitic, you just don't like Zionists. You don't like Zionists. But then he went on to say, it's not true. Your anti-Zionism is really anti-Semitism. For a black person in America, no one would ever come to the United States and say, let's see now, we've had a lot of tension between you black people and you white people. So we have a plan, and we'll get Ron Nachman to negotiate it. We give the blacks all of America except Georgia and Alabama. And they move out of Georgia and Alabama, and that's for the white people. Or we give them just Georgia and Alabama. They get Georgia and Alabama, only black people. Menachem Begin went to Carter, and he showed me the list. He said to him, I want to show you some names of your cities. Shiloh, Hebron, Bethel. These are in Pennsylvania. You have them all over America. He said, would you tell the governor of Pennsylvania that everyone can live here except Jews? No, he said. If I said that, they would accuse me of being a racist. Why? Because he would be a racist. Would he be any more of a racist by saying that in America than a person would be a racist by saying it here? No. Why isn't bigotry defined as the term of the debate? Who made all these other terms up? It's insidious, it's demonic, it's evil, it's brutal. What is the root of the reason? Your existence, but not just land. As a people, you're Jews. Why can't we scream from the mountaintops, this is really the root of the problem? I don't believe it's about Benjamin Netanyahu's strong intransience. I believe it's about bigotry, because you have plenty of people in Israel on the left. If you doubt it, go to the president's conference. Amos Oz will greet you, letting you know Jerusalem is still a toilet. There's plenty of people who are willing to step into this mess and embrace anything. The book is written in a fiction form, but I wrote it taking this concept and modernizing it. How would it live out today? To show the absurdity, the evil. I do network television defending Israel. It's true. Now for 40 years, only because of this great man, when he should have never believed in me, he did. He took my first book. He held it up. He said, I will endorse it. I said, no, don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. You haven't read a page. It could be a big problem for you. You might not like some things in the book. He said, Mike, don't worry. I'm a short prime minister. If they criticize me, I'll stand on the papers and I'll be taller. Besides, he said, today's news is wrapped in tomorrow's fish. He said to me when I first came to him the first time, he said, why did you come? Why did I come? I didn't know why. So I repeated the question. Why did I come? He asked again, why did you come? I said, why did I come? He said, do you not hear well? I said, no, I hear well. I just don't know why I came. You don't know why? You come 8,000 miles to meet with the prime minister. You don't know why? No, sir, I don't know why. What do you know? I said, I know God sent me. What? God sent you? He didn't tell you why. I said, yes, he sent me. He didn't tell me why. He said, Kadeshai, shake his hand. You finally met an honest man. He comes to meet with me. He says God sent him, and he hasn't told him why. It's a true story. But when I came back into his office, he said, what did God tell you? I said, to build a bridge. Oh, you want me to help you build the Brooklyn Bridge? No, Mr. Prime Minister, a bridge of love between Bible-believing Christian Zionists and Jews who are Zionists. He said, let's build it together. Let's build it together. And he did. He was the man that had the courage to reach out to us, not worried that we were out to snatch a Jewish soul, believing that we really cared about this land and the people and would be put it on the line for you. And he dared to believe. And he's the reason that this present Christian Zionism movement exists, because of his belief and his faith and his vision. But I said to him in that last meeting, I said, I met a man yesterday that I saw destiny in his eyes. And I think he's going to be the prime minister twice when you give him a job. And I said, Benjamin Netanyahu. He looked and smiled. He said, I don't know about someone being the prime minister twice. He said, every Israeli thinks they are the prime minister now. But he said, Reuben, what do you think? He said, I know him. He's a good one. He said, well, then meet with him. And so Reuben met with Benjamin. And so I didn't, it wasn't me. Obviously, many other things happened, but maybe a small part. I never told the story for over 21 years to anyone. One day, Benjamin Netanyahu asked me to come have lunch with him. It's actually in Chicago. He was at the Omni Hotel. He said, ask for Mr. Black. I said, this is your security name, Mr. Black? Doesn't sound very original. Anyway, so we had lunch in his room, and he said, Mike, did you ask Begin to give me the job? Don't lie to me. I said, yes, I asked. He said, I don't know if I should kiss you or kick you in the ass. I said, I'd prefer a kiss. Thank you so much for allowing me to share the vision of the protocols. We're making it into a television special because I want the American president, who happens to be an African American, understand that this issue is fueled and fed by bigotry and nothing else. And please don't force these people into that swamp to compromise on that venue, because you can never win if you do.